The golden ratio is often introduced as a formula, but that is not how humans encounter it. We encounter it emotionally. A face that feels calm, a painting that feels balanced, a building that feels welcoming rather than overwhelming. Long before anyone measured proportions, humans were already responding to them. One of the most persistent claims about the golden ratio is that it appears in the human face. You may have heard it said that the most beautiful faces follow the golden ratio. This idea is seductive. After all, faces are deeply emotional objects. We read identity, intention, safety, and attraction from them in fractions of a second. If beauty had a mathematical code, surely it would be written there. But here, the story becomes more subtle. Careful studies in psychology and neuroscience suggest that humans do not prefer exact golden ratio proportions. Instead, they tend to prefer faces that are close to it, but not perfectly aligned. Symmetry matters, but too much symmetry feels artificial. Balance matters, but rigid balance feels lifeless. Beauty lives in a narrow corridor between order and variation. The golden ratio sits near the center of that corridor. Not as a rule, as a tendency. This explains something important. When artists, photographers, and designers use the golden ratio, they rarely follow it precisely. They use it as a guide, not a command. The human mind seems to prefer proportions that feel natural, proportions that suggest growth rather than constriction. And this brings us back to nature. Consider the spiral, not the spiral drawn by a compass, perfect, cold, exact, but the spiral of a shell, the unfolding of a fern, the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower. These spirals do not exist to look beautiful. They exist to grow efficiently. As a plant grows, it must place each new leaf or seed in a position that does not block sunlight or waste space. Over millions of years, natural selection favored patterns that solve this problem efficiently. The result? Spiral arrangements that often align with Fibonacci numbers and ratios. Close to the golden ratio. Nature does not aim for beauty, but efficiency often looks beautiful. This may be the deepest reason the golden ratio feels pleasing. It reflects natural growth, not imposed design. At this point in the story, many myths begin to appear. You will often hear claims that the golden ratio appears everywhere. In every famous painting and every beautiful building, every human face. This is not true. The golden ratio, it is not a universal law of beauty. It is one of many patterns the human mind finds satisfying. When people search for it aggressively, they often find it because they want to by choosing measurements selectively or ignoring variation. True mathematics is more humble than that. It does not insist on being everywhere. It observes where it naturally appears and asks why. In architecture, the golden ratio appears sometimes intentionally, sometimes coincidentally, and sometimes not at all. Ancient builders worked with simple tools. They relied on ratios, symmetry, and visual harmony. Some structures align closely with golden ratio proportions. Others do not. What matters is not whether a building matches a number, but whether it feels balanced at a human scale. The same is true in art. Leonardo da Vinci studied proportion deeply, but he did not paint by calculator. His work feels alive because it balances structure with intuition. The golden ratio did not replace artistic judgment. It supported it. Modern neuroscience offers another clue. When humans view images that are too chaotic, the brain works harder to process them. When images are too rigid, the brain becomes bored. But when complexity and order are balanced just right, the brain enters a state of low effort and high engagement. This state feels pleasant. The golden ratio often lies near this balance point, not because it is magical, but because it reflects a deep compromise between predictability and surprise. This may be why humans across cultures, ages, and histories respond to similar proportions even when they have never studied mathematics. At this moment, pause again. Think of something you find beautiful. A photograph, a piece of music, a place. Did you choose it because of a number or because it felt right? Mathematics does not create that feeling. It helps us understand it. The golden ratio is powerful not because it explains beauty completely, but because it shows that beauty is not random. There is structure beneath emotion, and yet, that structure never fully captures experience. This tension between rule and feeling is what makes the golden ratio endlessly fascinating. In the final part of this story, we will go deeper still. We will explore why modern science resists simple beauty. Formula show, the golden ratio is used and misused today. Whether beauty can ever be fully quantified, what this tells us about the human mind. We will also return to the question that began this journey. Why do humans find certain things beautiful even when they do not know why? If this story resonates with you, if you enjoy mathematics told softly, patiently. And honestly, stay with MathsWhisperer. Here, we learn math with stories.